may be a fun story, but it's also a series full of mysteries. Do you know all the questions that are still unanswered in the Bluey cartoon? Trip. Why did Grandpa Bob have to go to India? When Grandpa Bob disappeared in season 1, everyone thought he had passed away, and that theory made total sense because, unfortunately, that kind of thing happens in every family. But something strange happened when he showed up again in season 3 for his oldest son's wedding. Grandma Chris said he was traveling to India because he needed to find himself. And wow, that's super strange and still unanswered because nobody knows the real reason for that trip. When someone travels to find themselves, it's because they're going through doubts about their own life. They want to discover more about who they are. But what does Grandpa Bob want to discover so badly that he needed to go all the way to India to figure it out? And did he finally find what he was looking for? Some people think it's because he was sick, but what do you think about that? Mysteries like this and many more we're going to tell you right now.
You know what's starting. It's another awesome Cinewave!
Airport. In the episode Curry Quest, when Bandit is returning from his 6-week trip, we see that Cornelius, Winton's dad, is waiting for someone. So far, so good. There's nothing wrong with Winton's dad being at the airport, but one curious thing is that this character has a life full of mysteries. There's a theory that he's a famous actor, because a poster with a bulldog that looks a lot like him appears in the episode Movies. We also see him next to an ex-girlfriend in the episode The Quiet Game, and there's also the mystery of his ex-wife, who, as far as everyone knows, is the person who lives with Winton. But even though she's the one mainly responsible for the little dog, we've never seen Bluey's friend's mom. That's why the scene of him waiting for someone at the airport is a mysterious one, because everyone wonders whether he was waiting for a girlfriend or his ex-wife who was traveling. That would explain why she's never appeared. What do you think about that? Job. Have you ever wondered if the healer couple, Bandit and Chilli, lost their jobs? At the end of season 3, we see the storyline where they almost moved to another city because Bandit had accepted a job offer somewhere outside Brisbane. But before that, we knew that Bandit was a respected archaeologist, while Chilli was an airport security officer in the city. When an entire family sells their house and gets ready to move, it's important to settle all matters, and one of the biggest is work. To move, Chilli had to quit her job. There was no way she could work in the same place while living in another city. The same thing with Bandit. He accepted an offer to work in another city. That's the reason for the whole house selling storyline. But when they finally decided they were going to stay in Brisbane, did they get their jobs back? As far as we know, the places where they worked had to put other people in their positions. So when Bandit decided to stay home, it's almost certain there was no longer space for them. And that may have been a difficult fresh start. Without jobs, how did they manage to survive? That must be why, in the following episode, we saw the future where everything turned out fine.
Mrs. Cattle. Fans call Chilli's mother Mrs. Cattle. That was Bluey's mom's last name before she met her husband.
In the episode Dragon, we find out that Mrs. Cattle lost her life due to a terrible illness. Sadly, Bluey and Bingo never met their maternal grandmother. But one question that still has no answer is, what is this character's real name? And that's a mystery fans have always wanted to discover, because we already know the names of the puppy's other 3 grandparents. They are Bob, Chris, and Mort. And who is Chilli's mom? We still don't know. Ice cream. In the episode where 2 workers are going to build a fish pond in the healer's backyard, a very interesting scene happens. The ice cream van stops in front of the healer's house, and the girls ask Chilli to buy them an ice cream. But Mrs. Healer says no, and even gets a bit annoyed when Bluey and Bingo end up getting one of the ice creams that the dog who built the pond gives them. It's almost as if Chilli doesn't like her daughters eating ice cream, which doesn't make sense because they've done it many times in front of their mom. Could it be that she doesn't like the vendor? The truth is that Chilli, as a mother, has every right to say no to her daughters when they ask for ice cream, but doing it just because she doesn't want to is a bit strange. Why did Chilli say no to her daughters? What's your favorite ice cream flavor? And for you who made it this far, we have a special invitation. Click the join button down below and become part of our exclusive group of subscribers. We have 3 plans for you to choose from. You can become a Wave Fund member and use our badges on your profile and special emojis in the channel's video comments. Or you can become a Wave Plus member and get early access to our videos and priority replies in the comments. But if you want access to our exclusive members-only videos and polls, you can become a Wave Max member. Starting at $2.99 $99, you can become the newest member of Cinewave. Click now and get even closer to us. Monkey Jocks. At the end of the episode Monkey Jocks, we find out that Bluey's toy ended up in the hands of a character who is the child of the receptionist at the city's toy store. And the scene is interesting because he's hospitalized. You remember that receptionist, right? She appears in the episode The Quiet Game, but sadly, her child never appeared again in any story. The question is he okay? Since Bluey is a happy ending kind of series, everyone thinks the pup was only in the hospital because of a simple stomachache, where he needed to stay there for a while, but then he was able to go back home. Do you agree with that?
Brother. In the episode The Show, we find out that Chilli lost a baby while she was still pregnant.
That was the biggest secret of the Griffin family. But one thing everyone has always wanted to know is, what would Bluey's older brother's name be? And maybe we have the answer. Let's think a bit about our clues. The protagonist's grandfather is named Bob, her father is named Bandit, and the main character's sister is named Bingo. There's a rule here, right? All these characters, including Bluey herself, have a name that starts with the letter B. Of course, Bluey's brother would have a name that started with that same letter, but what would his name be? Our guess is that this character would be called Blue, in reference to the color of fur he would have, just like the protagonist. But he could also be called Bob Jr., in honor of his grandfather. Does this theory make sense? It's a mystery whose answer we still don't know. Mackenzie. In the episode Space, we find out that Mackenzie has trauma from his past because he believed he had been abandoned by his mother, which we also discovered wasn't true. The question that remains is, why was that moment so important to the little dog? Why, even knowing he wasn't abandoned, did the memory of that day stay so stuck in his thoughts? Did something else happen that day? We need to find out. First uncle. Everyone knows that Uncle Radley appeared in the series in the episode Double Babysitter, but something that felt very strange that day was that Bluey asked her uncle why he took so long to visit the family. Bluey's uncle replies that he works on an oil platform and that, because of that, he's very busy. But we did some research and found that people who work in the same place as Bandit's brother stay 15 to 30 days at sea, but then they get the same period of time off, meaning Bluey's uncle really does work a lot, but you can't say he doesn't also get plenty of rest. He does have plenty of time to visit the family, so did he not do it for some reason? Some people think it's because he dreams of being a father, as he himself says, but felt jealous of his brothers because they already had children before him. That must be why Chilli set up that meeting with Frisky. Bosco. Speaking of Frisky, she says she broke up with Bosco, who was the great love of her life. But one strange thing is that she never revealed the reason that led to the end of that relationship. Frisky herself told Bingo that she thought love was forever, but that she was mistaken, meaning she was heartbroken about the end of their love. The strongest theory is that Bosco and Frisky had a fight, and there's a clue that might help us discover the truth, because Frisky even calls off the wedding with Bluey's uncle because he tried to make a decision for her. When he said the two of them would move out of the city after the wedding, it seems Frisky has no patience for people making decisions for her without asking what she thinks. Did Bosco do that?
And if you're not subscribed yet, you know what to do. Click and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos.
Rivalry. In the episode The Show, Chilli says that when she met Bandit in London, a rivalry happened. She implies that Mr. Healer had to compete for her attention. The question that remains is, why did that rivalry happen? Was there another guy interested in Chilli? Or was the duel between Bandit and Chilli herself, who at first didn't want to give Bandit attention? Will we ever see an episode that shows this story?
Birthday. In the episode Octopus, we find out that Chloe lives in a very big house at number 101 in Bluey's neighborhood. But in the episode Featherwand, Chloe has her birthday in a place that has the address House 26.
And that makes no sense at all. Wanna know why? The truth is that Chloe invited only 7 friends to her birthday, meaning if the Dalmatian family had rented a party venue, that would be wasting money since only 7 guests don't fill a room. So the question that remains is, did the creators of the show get Chloe's house address wrong? Dougie. You know Dougie, that little dog who can't speak? One question that exists about this character is the difficulty he certainly has communicating with other children. The reason is that not all adults know how to speak sign language, and even less so younger kids. And that's very sad because maybe Dougie doesn't have any friends, simply because the other children can't talk to him. Does Dougie have friends? Judo. Do you know why Judo didn't like Bingo? In the episode Butterflies, the Chow Chow pup made Bluey abandon her own sister, and we don't know the reason for that. She didn't want to play with Bingo because she said the little pup was too young and didn't really understand how to play properly. There are theories that say Judo does have a younger sister, who is her father's daughter with another wife, and because of that, Judo doesn't like younger sisters, neither hers nor anyone else's. Does she really have a younger sister? Rusty. In the episode Cricket, we find out that Rusty's dad is working in the army army far from home, and one doubt that remains is whether he's okay. Because as a soldier, Rusty's dad could be fighting in some war, and that would be a very bad thing. Is he okay? Hopefully his scenes in the army are only of regular soldier training.
It's almost over, but until then, you can stay with us. There are 2 super fun videos waiting for you.
Thanks, and see you next time.